The product life cycle is the journey a product goes through from launch to being pulled out of the market. It has 5 main stages. The first stage is the introduction stage. Here, the product is just launched. Sales are low and they grow slowly. There are also high costs, and then profits are very low, and there are few competitors. The main goal in this stage is to build awareness and get people to try the product. So in the introduction stage, price skimming is used, and this is where businesses set a high price to recover costs fast from customers who must have the product. This is especially used for completely new products, for example, iPhones and electric cars. However, again in the introduction stage, when the product is already existing on the market, then penetration pricing must be used by the business, and this is where it sets a very low price to grab market share quickly and discourage competitors. This is very common for new food products. Growth stage. Sales rise rapidly as more people adopt to the product. Profits start and increase fast because costs spread over more units. Competitors enter the market because they see opportunity. The main goal here is to maximize market share and build brand preference. Pricing strategies used are competitive pricing, price reductions, and value-based pricing. Thirdly is maturity stage. Here, sales are at a maximum, profits are also at a maximum, and there is lots of competition, and the main goal is to defend market share and extend this profitable stage as long as possible, because remember, every time something is at its peak, then the next stage will be coming down. So the pricing strategies used in this stage are competitive pricing and promotional pricing. Saturation stage. Here, the sales are completely constant because the market is full. The market has been saturated by so many products, and sales volume is very flat, like I said above. And then the main goal here is to make sure that the business squeezes some last profit, and then they plan for either extension or for the next product. So the pricing strategies here could be price cutting wars. There are price wars among competitors, and then there is psychological pricing. Now, psychological pricing is where a product will be sold at, for example, $19.9 instead of $20. Psychologically, as a customer, you feel like $19.9 is actually a lower price, yet you're technically actually paying $20 for the same product. Decline stage, which is the last. Here, sales and profits drop steadily and the product becomes outdated, or it is replaced by a better one. And then companies cut costs, marketing is reduced. The main goal here is to harvest any remaining profit, or sometimes to exit gracefully, since of course sales have dropped drastically. How do businesses try to extend their product life cycle? Because maybe you've probably seen companies like Coca-Cola, companies like Pepsi-Cola, companies like Shell, and so on, and maybe that local business in your area. How has it managed to stay in business for a very long time? These businesses, these examples, actually try to use some of these extension strategies to make sure that they remain relevant in the eyes of the customers. So number one, businesses do product modification or improvement by changing some features, designs, and the quality. For example, smartphone makers usually release new camera upgrades yearly. Why? They are trying to still remain relevant so that they avoid the decline stage. Secondly, businesses extend their product life cycle by market development. They find new customers or new users of the same product. For example, Vaseline is now sold as lip care, yet previously it has only been sold as skin care. So Vaseline can now be used as both for skin care and lip care. Then businesses also usually reposition themselves. They change how people see the product. For example, if you knew Lucozade as a product consumed by only the sick, the company will try to now reposition it and maybe say Lucozade is actually a sports energy drink. That way, it is actually able to attract even more and new customers from a wider pool. Promotion boost. This is all about new advertising campaigning, and then new packaging, using influencers to market the product. Price adjustments here, when the company feels like their product is actually trying to get out of the market, they will offer discounts, they'll give new payment plans, they will reignite interest in customers to still continue buying their product. Line extensions. This is all about launching new flavors, sizes, or related products under the same brand. And Coca-Cola is the best in using this. At some point, it will launch zero sugar. The other point, it will launch a smaller version of a product. So all that is all about line extensions. So not every product goes through all stages at the same speed. Tech products like phones might have a 1-year cycle, whereas basic needs may stay in maturity for decades. So it's all about how a business plays with the stages, especially the maturity stage